Hey, we're Heavy Color, and we are here recording in studio for the Witching Hour 2020. Okay, that was good. The primary thing that we've been making collectively in 2020 is at the beginning of the lockdown, we had the opportunity through some serendipity to be able to collaborate with the investigative reporting collective Public Herald on a documentary called Invisible Hand, which tells the story of the rights of nature movement and how that has affected a bunch of communities across the world, and how their people are being able to stand up for their individual ecosystems and the right for those ecosystems to not only just exist but also to thrive. So we've been working on the original score for that since early April, and just have kind of wrapped it up this last little bit here. So we made a record about that that's actually coming out on the label Curious Music, which actually is based in Iowa City. And we're really excited to play a lot of that music here tonight, actually. Yeah.
Look at this lead pencil. There's not a single person in the world who could make this pencil. Remarkable statement? Not at all. The wood from which it's made, for all I know, comes from a tree that was cut down in the state of Washington. To cut down that tree, it took a saw. To make the saw, it took steel. To make the steel, it took iron ore. This black in the center, we call it lead, but it's really graphite, compressed graphite. I'm not sure where it comes from, but I think it comes from some mines in South America. This red top up here, the eraser, bit of rubber, probably comes from Malaya, where the rubber tree isn't even native. It was imported from South America by some businessmen with the help of the British government. This brass ferrule, I haven't the slightest idea where it came from. Or the yellow paint, or the paint that made the black lines, or the glue that holds it together. Literally thousands of people cooperated to make this pencil. People who don't speak the same language, who practice different religions, who might hate one another if they ever met. When you go down to the store and buy this pencil, you are in effect trading a few minutes of your time for a few seconds of the time of all those thousands of people.
Capitalism.
Cattle growers, meat packers, shippers, distributors, they're all in business to make profit.
Capitalism is based on greed and selfishness. Everybody loves Adam Smith. Read him. Who argue that the best possible economic system.
Of course they make a profit, and it's a good thing. That's the incentive that makes capitalism work, to give us more of the things that we need.
This principle of private ownership is undoubtedly the most fundamental element in the structure of American capitalism.
Capitalism? Well, what should there be any question about? Hasn't it given us the highest standard of living in the world?
I think at the beginning I was pretty frustrated. I was frustrated that I couldn't like rise to the occasion of having like some kind of meaningful expression for the way that I felt. But I was so anxious, it wasn't really manifesting in any kind of like intentional, thoughtful, creative way until I think kind of having the prompt or having the the need to create music for the Invisible Hand project. I think that kind of enabled me to focus and find a way to channel how I felt.
So when we approached the music for this film, Invisible Hand, we split up a lot of music into these different themes, which were relying pretty heavily on just the different elements of nature. So this song, Cross Currents, was one of the first themes that we wrote for Air, which represents movement and change.
I think about where we are today and the direction that we must take to return to our original instructions, to the caretaking of our natural world. That is our family. It is the waters, it is the grasses, it is the trees that we are equal to, no greater, no less than. We're all connected.
For this project, we approached it in a way that I don't know if we've really approached a project in exactly the same way before because of the scale. It was at one point I think we were trying to make music for 120 minutes, a feature length, piece. So as a way to kind of frame our thoughts, we needed to find a way to just organize how to even approach the different emotional kind of like different landscapes. So we ended up kind of separating our ideas into the different elements. So for this project, we used water and air and earth and fire as a way for us just to essentially make these musical families. So each one of those represented, a different set of themes, I guess. So water was, emotion and connectivity, and that tidal kind of just forever movement, I guess. I mean, earth was for patience and grounding and strength, and fire was for justice and, for rage, and air was for kind of movement and that like, that constant kind of just shift, that quick, ability to change, I guess. So we started that as our way of actually composing all these pieces. We would make 4 or 5 pieces in each of those families. And by doing that, that kind of gave us a really, really great head start, actually, and we were composing in both ways. We were doing it left to right, watching the film, and also saying, like, after we kind of took inventory, we were like, okay, we really do need we need five airs, we need 3 waters, we need 2 earths and a fire, but it was kind of like that. And by doing that, we were able to, be fairly consistent, but at the same time, be able to represent the different shifts in the plot and the, and the movement as it was kind of developing. Yeah.
Part of the beautiful thing I think about those, if you're kind of breaking things down into those 4 groups or elements, is that it's so it's naturally succinct in a way that it's kind of difficult to create something that doesn't fit into one of those categories.
There's a scene in the middle of the film that they travel to Standing Rock for the water protectors and to kind of be there during that, really powerful protest. And they were, there's this really beautiful scene in the film that's maybe 12 minutes long. And they had music for that entire scene, and, in some ways it's kind of the climax of the movie, at least from an artistic standpoint. It's just like a really beautiful, really lots of long shots, and really beautiful colors and, really beautiful nature. And there's not really very much voiceover. It's like the music really carries it. But the first bit of music we made for it, it just wasn't like perfect for them, really. The piece of music that they had selected was really powerful and really beautiful, and we really loved it too. So it was kind of a thing where we're like, shoot, like how are we gonna top that? But we were able to completely scrap what we had done and just start completely fresh and with new ears. And we were really happy that they ended up using the piece that now is on the record and in the film. That's just called the theme for Standing Rock. But it was maybe just a few days before the premiere when they're like, oh yeah, we're going to use that,
This is one of the first songs that we wrote under the theme of water for the film Invisible Hand. Water kind of representing connectivity, adaptivity, and empathy, and just the capacity for change.